Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're feeling fantastically well. This will be episode. Need to check. I think it's episode 5. Got my little booklet here. Expert. Yeah, it will be episode 5 of the voyage of the B.S.M. Pandora as it continues to explore its quadrant of space. They've just left Mizo, or at the present moment, I don't know. I'll let you know when we get down there. And they found nothing on Mizo. Well, they did find that the one of the creatures that was on Pico was also on Mizo as well, but we had to flee from it because we didn't bring a blinking neuro scanner with us to have a chat with it. Yeah, we didn't want to fight it or kill it. There was no need for that. So, but that was the only thing that was actually on that planet. We explored hills and such forth, but it was frozen. It was oppressive. Well, it was a heavy gravity, thin atmosphere. We went on foot because to actually take the rover down the planet would have actually consumed a third of the shuttle's capacity to carry equipment. So we didn't. We went by foot, and it was just a slog all the way through. But upon the return of the Pandora, we managed to heal ourselves. A bot that had got broken also got repaired. So we're all back up to full capacity, ready to carry on the exploration. If you could do your housekeeping, that'd be nice. You know, like the video if you do like what I do. Subscribe if you really like what I do and you haven't done so already. And of course, any comments will be much appreciated. Let's go back to the map and see where we send the Pandora now. As you can see, we're right in the bottom corner here. We effectively, I mean, we could go anywhere on the map, but the further we go, the more risk we take of interstellar incidents. And I don't think I really want one of those. I mean, there might be good ones, there might be bad ones, but I'm going to avoid those if I can. When I played my practice game before doing this, I did do an interstellar incident, and it was nasty. I'm not going to explain what it was, but it was nasty, and it's like, no, avoid if possible. So we've already gone to a planet that's far from its sun. Let's go to one that's close to the sun. We will move the Pandora towards Mephisto. There we go. It's close to the sun. It's also a small planet. I think Piccolo was a small one as well. No, Piccolo was tiny. Okay. But that was in the biosphere. So this one is close to its sun. So I should imagine it'll be hot, whereas Mizo, being blue, was far, it wasn't remote, had Arctic conditions. So that's my thought processes. Now we got to roll to see if there's an interstellar incident. To do that, we count the distance we moved, which is 2 hexes, and we add the originating hex, so it's 3. So 3 or less, and we have an interstellar incident. Okay, 8 there isn't, but that does take time. It only takes 1 month per hex, basically. So total die. So we've spent 9 months in space at the present moment doing this exploration, but we now arrive at Mephisto. So we arrive with the Pandora at Mephisto, a planet that is close to its sun, and from the picture appears to have quite a volatile and hot atmosphere. But then that could be deceiving. We'll have to wait and see what the die rolls will actually tell us. But that's my initial image that I thought should, if the die rolls are logical, apply. Now we have to roll a dice to see which one of those paragraphs we look at to determine what we actually find at Mephisto. So the die roll is, why it bounces away from, is a 2. Okay. 092 is the paragraph we go to. Okay, so let's bring that up. Paragraph up bit there. Move this down. 092. There we go. Orbiting Mephisto. Gravity light. Atmosphere normal. Hydrogen 0%. Geology active. Volcanoes and such forth. Life support value 2. And if the planet will be explored, of course it will be explored. We don't travel all this way to not bother. We'll have a look at which ones of those. Well, let's see which hexes. It says hex 1513. So I'm going to mark out the potential landing spots. 1513. Okay, 14, 15, 13. So that would belie that it is a hot planet. You've got volcanoes and caves and such forth. All right. Then we've got sorry, that's a 50%. That's a 1 to 3 that with that hex. 4 to 5, it's 1002. 1002, that'll be somewhere over here, I should imagine. Right, 1002. Again, lots of mountains, cave system, and I say we're not sure what we're going to get. This is what's on our initial scans that we get as we go in orbit around the planet. And the last one, a 1 in 6 chance, is 0413. 0413. 0413. Back on that planet with the alien structure again. So we're not sure which one of those is going to be. That's why our initial scans is volcanic activity on the planet. There's obviously mountain ranges on the planet, and there's a potential of a alien thing on the planet, alien structure on the planet. We have to determine that after we actually decide what equipment to take with us. So let's mark the planet as such. So gravity's light. That's a help because last time it was heavy, so we couldn't take so much. So light, gravity. I hate it when things disappear. There it is. Right. Okay, I have to do that without you seeing it. So gravity is light, atmosphere is normal. So it's breathable. That's useful. Very little water, but almost zero on the planet. And the life support value is 2. So it's a little bit easier than the previous one so far. And it says the geology is active. So we'll stick that down there, flip that. Okay, so potentials of volcanoes, earthquakes, etc., and storms. So with that in mind, I better get on with planning my expedition. Okay, so I've done my maths. So on the port capacity, because it's got light gravity, my shuttle can transport 100 points down. So my rover weighs 20, so I'm definitely taking the rover this time. The crew I'm taking, so if we look here, what I've got here, I've got the weapons officer, Aaron Sun's coming down. She weighs 7. We have Riker back on the ground doing his ground survey. He weighs 7. It's the middle number of those 5. And the medical officer, Scorpius, is coming down, and he weighs 6. So that's, again, a total of 20. I'm also bringing the combat bot. So he weighs 9. I'm also bringing 17 points of tools. That's the top right number there. So the E cages are each weigh 1. The climb kit's 2. The med kit's 2. The holographers 2. The scanners 2. The neuroscans 2. The turbo lasers 2. Toolkits 2. And the stun bombs 1. That's 17. That leaves me 34 points, which I'll use for supply. So I will then mark the expedition supply as 34 on here. Not expedition, the shuttle supply. Actually, fact, those 2 should have been taken off last time. They will be back on again. But 34. So I've got a lot. Oh, looks like the maximum I can bring is 30. Yes. So that means I've actually got 4 points left. I spent 34. All right. So a little tweak then. We will bring a few. Got 4 points. Okay, so let's bring the net gun then. That's 2. Another cage, 3. And a stun bomb, 4. There we go. So a slight change of there, because I forgot that the maximum you can bring with you is 34 points. Is 30 points of supply. Right, so I'll just change that on my little diagram. So we bought 30 points of supply, and instead of 17 points of tools, 17 plus 4 is 21 points of tools. Okay, so that's everything we have to do with what we bring. We now have to determine what environment we go to. And that's determined by rolling on this little chart here. So let's see. Does that disappear? They bounce too much on this side here. Okay, so that's a 4. So we will be going to result 4 to 5, hex 1002. Hex 1002. So it's not that one. Delete. And it's not that one. Delete. It's that one. The mountains. And then, oh, look at a nice underground complex to start to explore. That's where we go to. And it then tells us to go to hex to paragraph 133. So I'll just pick that up. We'll go to paragraph 133. Right, the shuttle has landed on a barren slope surrounded by mountains. An angle valley leads east through the peaks to a bleak plain. Bleak plain is over there. Okay, so I should put that there, couldn't I? Oh, the caves in hex 1101, 1102, and 1103 do not exist. So there's no cave. All right, fair enough. The climate is Saharan. Add 1 to the LSV. But what's LSV? Okay. Life support value. Yeah, add 1. So it's Saharan. That goes there. And add 1 to the LSV. Life support value. There we go. So it's hot. So the exact opposite from what we had before. Though at least we can breathe, and the gravity is light rather than oppressive. Well, it says oppressive. It was heavy, but it felt oppressive. But there's no water. So, okay. So that's where we land. So we come to the surface of Mephisto, a barren Saharan desert with a mountain range ahead to explore, and apparently no caves. So yeah, first thing we've got to do is explore the actual hex we land in. Okay, so I've determined how much we can carry because of the light gravity. Each character and bot can carry its portage value +2. So that gives me if I was going to explore by foot, 27 portage points that I can carry around, which is they're going to take all the kit that they got with them while they explore this particular landing hex. So we look at how long that takes. It is a hill hex, is it? Yeah, it is hill. So it takes, we're not entering it, we're just exploring it. So that takes 3 hours to explore. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Also, because the key to try supply is a light supply check, because it's got a light gravity, we'll be checking on 22 hours, whereas when we were on Piccolo, it was every 30, and when we were on Mizo, it was every 12. So we've got a bit more time to actually explore this planet, hopefully. So 3 hours to explore our local environ, and let's see what we actually get. So exploration matrix. I don't think any of these apply. So it was a straight roll, and hopefully the dice will actually behave themselves. Okay, they do. That's 45. 45 takes me to paragraph 186. Okay, let's bring that down. 186 on here. Right. Expedition encounter an alien structure? No. A heavy vegetation hex? No. Or was entered during it? No, no. The expedition is not submerged or underground, and the gravity is light. Yes. We're not submerged and we're not underground, and the gravity is light. Double check that. Yes. So that tells us to go to paragraph 51. Okay, so we found something. Just don't know what yet. There we go. An ambioid creature about a foot in diameter mysteriously floats by the expedition. Right, okay, that's useful. That is useful because that brings us back to my little picture. Where's the picture gone? There it is. Oh, let's just bring that up. That's what these are, all floating around. Well, I chose this picture, well, I wouldn't say by random. I didn't know these were going to be there, but now that explains that. So we'll say this here is the moon of the planet. How many moons has it got? Don't know. I could randomly determine, but there's definitely a moon there. There's the mountain range, the Saharan desert. But now we know what these things are. They're a floating creature. Dum dum dum. I do like it when it all comes to sort of together. Even the last planet when it was completely barren, frozen and barren, but at least, it all sort of fitted together. So, an ambioid creature about a foot in diameter mysteriously floats by the expedition. Choose an encounter strategy. Okay, let me bring up this, look at this creature and determine what we're going to do. Okay, so it's called a paraboid. Um, we know it's got, what's its last rating there? It's got 4 ratings. We know it's got a +2 speed modifier, but it's got no modifier for its intelligence, combat, or aggression. So this is floating past us. So the paragraph is asking us a question. So an ambioid creature about a foot in diameter. So that's like an amoeba type of thing. So it moves like an amoeba. So proboscis comes out and then it follows up with the rest of its body. Floats by the expedition. Choose an encounter strategy. Okay. We want to actually capture it, because the best way to investigate it is to capture it rather than kill it. So let us do that. That's going to be my strategy. Okay, so let's bring the actual charts up here. Encounter strategy will be capture or kill, which I say I'm trying to capture. So when directed to use this table, choose one of the listed strategies and roll 1 die. Okay, cross-reference the die result with a chosen strategy will yield the next paragraph. Okay. Rolling 1 die. Die roll modifiers. If communication is chosen, we're not trying to communicate at the moment, add the creature's intelligence modifier. If capture or kill is chosen, add the creature's intelligence and aggression. Both of those are 0 as well. So it's a straight roll on this table. So we roll a 3, which tells us to go to paragraph 20. So I'm going to take a note. 061 was the paragraph with the creature, but it's telling us now to go to paragraph 20. Let me bring that up. Right, okay. Conduct combat. Add together the creature's intelligence, aggression, and speed modifiers. If this sum is positive, shift 2 columns to the left. If this sum is negative, shift 2 columns to the right. Okay, so I now need to determine those 3. Add together the creature's intelligence, aggression, and speed modifiers. Oh, I didn't say values. Oh, I'll have to double check on that. Hold on that. Yeah, it definitely said modifier rather than rating. So we haven't determined any of those as yet. So, okay. Let's just move this out of the way for the moment. So conduct combat, add together the creature's intelligence, aggression, and speed modifier. We know it actually has got a speed modifier of 2. That's the last value. Yeah, intelligence, combat, aggression, and then speed. So it's got a speed of 2. Add together the creature's intelligence, aggression, and speed modifiers. Okay, interesting. So we're trying to capture it. So let's go to the combat results table. We're all there. We're all trying to capture it. So I add all my crew's combat rating, but I don't know what its combat rating is. So I'm going to have to determine that to go into combat. Yeah, there's a set sequence I've got to go through. So I've got to declare, I've already declared that I'm trying to capture the creature. And then from here, I've got to determine what each of the crew members is using. So the weapons officer, what should we give them to use? Chuck a medical kit at it. Scanner, neuroscanner. Do I want to use a stun bomb on this? No, I'll just use a basic rating. Same with the ground support officer. That's Riker. And medic. Yeah. So from our crew there, all right, from our crew, we've got the capture value is the first number. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from just the crew. And then from the actual robot, the bot, first value, so that's we've got a combat value of 17 against this little dude. We're not going to use any equipment as such. So now we got to that's the first step, is to determine what we're trying to do, which is capture. We do then use the combat rating, and now we've got to determine the combat rating of the creature. So come up here, the creature rating, right? So roll 2 dice and add the modifier, and its combat modifier is 0. Okay, so it's a straight 2-die roll on that table. Oh, we don't want it too high, do we? Oh dear. The dice don't after fuck with your head, don't they? Okay. So it's got a star result. Roll 1 die again. The modifier is not applied. On a result of 1 or 2, the rating's 9, 3 or 4, 10, 5 is 11, 12 is what's it got? A massive sting on it. So roll a 2. Right. So its combat rating is 9. It's nasty. So determine its combat rating is 9. So probably like a jellyfish sort of thing. I mean, it's got a horrible sting to it. Okay, so add together creatures. Right, if this sum is positive, shift 2 columns to the right. It was positive because it was no, shift 2 columns to the left. I'm just going back over the original paragraph. If this sum is positive, which it was because of its speed, shift 2 columns to the left. This could get nasty. All right. Okay. So let's bring up the combat table now. Creature. So combat. So we had a combined combat value of 17, and this has a combat value of 9. So that takes us to the 7 to 10 column, where we go 2 to the left. So that takes us to the 2 to 3 column. And then we roll the dice. And low is good. 3. Okay. So the result is B. Right. Creature is killed, 2 damage points, or creature is captured. We chose to capture it, so we have suffered 4 damage points for the privilege. Okay, so I've got to take 4 damage points for the capture of this creature. So each one of the crew members will take 1 damage point. So that will take 1 off their endurance. So that's the medical officer, Scorpius, the ground survey officer, Riker, and the weapon officer, Aaron Sun. And then the other damage point, I could take on a tool or a but I'm going to use the supply. So I'm going to lose 1 damage point is equal to 2 supply points. So I consumed 2 points of supply to subjugate this creature, taking me down to 8 supply points. Okay, so we have determined that it's actually not a creature to mess around with in combat, is it? Its combat value was 9. There we go. And we have to use one of our E-cages to keep it. And we'll keep that on board the actual shuttle itself. I think we've only got 1 more E-cage. I should have maybe brought more. There we go. Right, but at least we caught it. and then we can investigate. As long as we keep that engaged, we can then have a look at it back on the Pandora. But yeah, as we moved in to engage it, obviously it had these stingers that we weren't really aware of at the time. But yeah, we got some nasty stings on us. Now, with each one of those officers taking a endurance hit, that drops their carrying capacity by 1 for each one. So Riker drops from an 8 to a 7, Aaron from 9 to an 8, and Scorpius from a 7 to a 6. Which drops us down for a total from 27 to 24. However, we are going to be using the rover. That was just exploring our local hex. So now what we've got to do, I mean, we could spend some hours. We have got the med kit to repair ourselves. Maybe that's what we should do. That was the whole bloody point of bringing the medical officer Scorpius down. Okay, so healer character. The player chooses a character in the expedition that has lost at least 1 endurance point and expends from 1 to 12 expedition hours in an attempt to regain one of the character's lost endurance points. Then roll 2 dice. If the die roll is less than the number of hours expended, the character gains an endurance point back. If the medical officer is in the expedition, they are, and is not being healed, or the medikit is present, 3 is subtracted from the die roll. Well, we've got the medical kit. Right. If the medical officer and the medikit are present, roll 1 die instead of 2 with no subtraction. Okay, so I can determine how many hours that I spend healing Aaron. All right, so I'm going to spend let's spend 6 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Recovering and recuperating from the shocks that we received from this. Now we roll 1 dice with no modifier. So it's got to be less. So don't roll a 6. Right. Okay. So Aaron's wounds have been recovered, which is useful. Okay. Then, do we want to recover the wound on Riker? We might as well. And we'll spend another 6 hours on that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we roll a 3. So Riker's wounds have been recovered. Now, the medical officer himself, he can heal himself, but he doesn't get any bonuses while doing it. So I'm going to keep him on the 1 wound down. So with that in mind, we have now gone back up to Riker's 8, Aaron's 9, and Scorpius still on 6. So we're now on 26 carrying capacity. Right, it's now time to start exploring this planet. Where am I? There. Okay, so we were on foot. We're now going to take the rover. Now, the rover has a carrying capacity of 50. Let me just go to the port. Yeah, there's the port chart. Okay, 40. So we're going to work out what we're going to carry for 40. Let me work this. Another math problem. Okay, again, a little bit tricky. So on the rover, we will have weapons officer Aaron Sun, the ground service officer Riker, and the combat robot. Okay, we have then got 11 points of tools. We've got 1 E-cage, we've got a scanner, the med kit, the holographer, the neuroscanner, and the turbo laser for a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 portage points. All told, then, that is 34, and we know that the rover can carry 40. So that leaves us with 6 actual points worth of supplies that we can take with us. So the expedition supply is 6. The shuttle supply now drops by another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can see us going like we did in the previous planet, where we did it on foot. we're going to have to keep going back and forth to the actual the hex here to recuperate the supplies on the expedition, leaving Scorpius on board the ship with his equipment that is still left, like the net gun, the EK, stun bombs, and such forth. We just can't carry it all. So I move all this to the rover. There he is. Let's put it all together. So it's always a fine balancing act, what you can and cannot take with you. Okay. There we go. And we put the rover on the map. Okay. Then we determine where we want to explore. This looks interesting, doesn't it? We have, I think they're called rifts. Abyss. We know that this cave doesn't exist. And we've got 6 supply, where we're expedition time is there. The next time we have to check supply, we actually have to check supplies there. So we've got a little bit of time. Cliffs, mountains, or just hills? I think we'll just explore the hills for the moment. So we will drive into there. So we then got to determine how long that actually takes. Terrain effects, we are exploring a hill. It's 3, and we've got to enter by the rover. So it takes 4 hours to explore it and to get into the hex. So not the supply, 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Right, let's see what we actually find. Once we get there, we now go on to the exploration matrix. All right, there was no hasty movement, there's no city, so it's a straight roll. Where's the red? The red and the white dice. The red being the top number, and that is 31. Sure, paragraph 59. I seem to get the same paragraphs. Wrong with my dice. Paragraph 59, but it's a different hex that we're exploring. Alien structure? No. A hex of the pond or marsh? Cave hex? No. So we found nothing in that hex there. All right. So let's put down an exploration marker to show we've explored it. We'll carry on. I'm heading towards the abyss. All right, 1 hex at a time. So that will be the same amount of time, another 4 hours. Where are we? So that will be 1, 2, 3. Okay, back to the top for 4. But now we have to do a supply determination before we explore it, because we went through the red marker there. Okay, so we've got 2 crew with us. So I'm working out the supply total. I can't remember the word that uses. Supply user total. So we've got 2 outside the ship. So that is 8. But we have 1 and in the environment, so that's 8. But we have 1 crew member so on ship. So they still eat stuff and breathe. So we've got 2 characters in the environment. So that is worth 4 times 2, which equals 8. We have 1 character on board the ship is worth 2 times 1, which equals 2. Correct? Yeah. Then we've got 1 bot, which is times 1, which equals 1. And then we have tools that we have with us. That's on board. So we've got the scanner, turbo laser, and neuro scanners, each 1 each. So that's 1, 2, 3. Nothing on the ship, but the rover also 2. So that's 3, 4, 5. The tools. Okay, so that's 10, 15, that's 16 consumables. 16, right, so we've got a roll dice. Roll of 3. 16 divided by 3 is 5. Round it down. However, the maximum we will consume is 4. Okay. We can take 1 from the shuttle supply because there's a crew member on there. So we'll do that. And 4 then becomes 3 of the expedition supply. 1, 2, 3. Then we determine the additional supply used because from the terrain effects and the life support. So the life support value is 3, plus we are in a hill, which adds 1 for 4. 4, looking at that 3. Okay, I honestly, this is the one little bit of the rules. Okay, which way does this work? Okay, the life support value of the planet is added to all the terrain. If the volume, sorry, if this sum is positive, is divided by the die roll. So 4 divided by 3, and the result is rounded down. 4 divided by 3 is 1. So there's an additional supply used because of the life support in the area. So already our expedition is down 2 point to nearly exhausted. However, there's a long time before we have to do a recheck. So we might be able to get there and back again if we do hasty movement. But exploring this hex now. Now that we've paid all our dues, let's bring the charts and tables up again and we go for the exploration. There was no hasty movement, so there's no modifier to this die roll. Okay, 42, 42, 42, 42, 120. Okay, let's move that out of the way. See if we actually find anything this time. 120. There she is. A structure, not a cave. No, a flat or hill hex has been explored. The gravity is Earth-like and the climate is not Arctic. Gravity is Earth-like. Okay. Well, the gravity is light. I see Earth-like. See, it's got a comma there. A flat or hill hex being explored, comma. The gravity is Earth-like and the climate is not Arctic. So that's 2 separate things. So we're going on the flat or hill has been explored. That is paragraph 60. That thing, because if it would be a flat or hill hex has been explored and the gravity is Earth-like. It's not. It's got a comma there. So either one of those situations is correct. So we're going to paragraph 60. That's the way I think it works. The and or comma splits into 2 separate objectives. So 60. The expedition discovers a sleeping saurian, which is a reptilian sort of creature. The 10-foot-long beast stirs as the party inspects it. Choose an encounter strategy. 060. So I'm going to find that creature. Let's try and capture it. We've got an E-cage. I assume they are various sizes and can expand and such forth to take them. And this is a 10-foot creature. So the last one we took, which was that little pob, amoeba pob, that was only about a foot. So, we've got to assume that these cages do expand to fit the size of the creature that we're trying to capture. Okay, with that in mind, we're doing a capture or kill. So add the creature's intelligence modifier and subtract the absolute. No, let's try to communicate. If capture or kill is chosen, add the creature's intelligence and aggression modifiers. Okay, so if we look at there's the creature. It's disappeared. There it is. Okay, so if we're looking at its modifiers, to those. So the aggression modifier is, let's see, intelligence modifier is 0. The combat modifier is 1. The aggression modifier is -1, and its speed is -1. That's a problem with this nice little question marks. Yeah, great. It does cover up the values. So that means I've got to get the counter out. And there's the counter in there. No zoom. Let's see what it's got. Can I get it in focus? No. I don't know where my fingers are going. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's 0, 1, -1, -1. There we go. All right. So first of all, then we need to go onto the creature table here and determine. Oh, so go there. So what do I need to? If capture or kill shows, add the creature's intelligence 0 and aggression -1 modifiers to the die result. Okay. So I'm looking here for the modifiers, not the actual ratings at the moment. So capture kills for a net -1. Okay, roll 1 dice. The net -1. That's a 4 becomes a 3. So we're looking at paragraph 20. 4 becomes 3 becomes paragraph 20. I've got 60 in the notes to remind me to go back to there. And we go to paragraph 20. So let's do that. That's what we had last time. Conduct combat. Add together the creature's intelligence, aggression, and speed modifiers. If this sum is positive, shift 2 columns to the left, right. So it says the creature's intelligence, 0, aggression, -1, and speed, -1. Okay, if this is net -2, if this sum is negative, shift 2 columns to the right. So it's pro me in the combat situation. Okay, so I want to capture this. Don't want to kill it or hurt it. So neuroscan is no use. E-cage is what we're going to hopefully pop it into. Medikit, no use. Turbo laser. So we could give Riker the turbo laser. So hold on, let's put these as not being used. Didn't need the scanner. We don't need the hydrographer. Okay, so we're using the weapons officer. Her value is 4. That's a good point. The turbo laser is value of 4, so that's 8. Yeah, because of the values here. It's first one is its capture value, second one is combat, attack, kill. But we're not trying to kill, so it's 4 plus 4 is 8, and then this plus 7. 8 plus 7 is 15. So my combat value is 15. Okay. We've now got to determine the creature's combat value. The last time it went bonkers, didn't it? So, we're all double 6, didn't we? So we know its combat is at -1. No, its combat's at 1. Its aggression and speed are minus, so its combat's at 1. So it's got a +1 modifier to this roll. Roll 2 dice. So actually could be quite good in combat. All right. Roll 2 dice. Okay. So that's 7 plus 1 is 8. So its combat rating is 6. Okay, so I'll put that on the little chart there, 6. Okay. Then we go to the combat itself. Now, I have 15, it has 6, so it's a differential. 15 take away 6 is 9. Yeah. And then it says I've got 2 to the right because of its slow speed and aggression. So I go to the 11 or more. I then roll a d6 on that table and roll a 6. The worst I could possibly roll. So it says creature is killed, 2 damage, or creature is captured. So I have captured it, but it put up a bit of a fight. And I've taken 4 damage points. Not good. Okay, from doing so. So let me just mark this. So set the combat value was 6. Okay. So we've got 1 definite value out of it. And we've captured it. So pop it into an E-cage. Boom. All right. I think that's the only E-cage we brought with us, isn't it? So yeah. We mark that hex as explored. And then we have 4 damage points to inflict. Okay. So weapons officer Sung takes a damage point. In actual fact, and Riker will take a damage point, and we've still got 2 to do. So they'll each take another one, protecting their equipment from this beast, which obviously lashed out in the combat and inflicted some wounds on both Riker and Aaron. Okay, so that's that hex explored, and I think that will be the time to end this episode. Okay. So I'm going to put this back on the rover. Charge. All right, there we go. I'll probably just leave all these counters out in this area when we determine things. Yeah, okay. It's then determine what we've got left. So we've got expedition supplies only one. We have got a potential of 22 hour or 21 hours to go. Do we press on to the abyss, or do we go back to the shuttle, pick up more supplies? Well, we'll determine that in the next episode. Let's go back up. Every planet presents its own little problems. It's nice. There's the counter. Can I get that in a better zoom in? No, can't. Seems to want to disappear. Okay. Well, we've caught the beast. That means there's another one we can bring back. I've brought 3 cages in total to bring back to the Pandora. We've still got 20 hours. Do we go back to pick up some supplies? Because we could do hasty movement back to the base, or we could now just push straight to the abyss with hasty movement, explore the abyss, then rush back. Can we do that in 20 hours before we have to do another supply check? Don't know. I'll have to wait and see until the next episode. And you will have to wait and see in the next episode if you still stick with me, which I hope you do. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, do the like. If you really enjoyed it and you enjoy other stuff I do, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And any comments, suggestions, things I might have missed. I mean, one of the things I was sort of toying with, I don't know if it will work. I have these. Oh, it just disappeared. What is that? That's the problem with this browser. It's not me. So it's trouble. There we go. The Book of Random Science Fiction Tables. Ooh, can I get it all on? I've got 4 of these. I'm just not sure that they will work without busting the system. I don't know. I'm going to have to look and think about it. Getting the images, that seems to work. I mean, I did like the way that first image of the Saharan plain and there's something in the sky. I didn't know what it was. And then it turns out the actual paragraph really helped on that one. So yeah, that got the narrative for me really quite interesting. So yeah, until next time, play games, have fun, bye internet.